And then dentistry, a very beautiful compromise in medicine, surgery, treating patients, and being able to craft all day. I love crafting. It made it possible for me to be on my own, to be self-employed really early. Hi, my name is Stefanie Hirt. I am from Bern, Switzerland, born and raised in Bern. I have my own dental practice in Schwarzenburg, which is about 20 kilometers away from Bern. So I practice out in the country. And I have my emphasis on restorative dentistry. Even though I'm a general practitioner, I do everything except implants and ortho. I spent a lot of time in the mountains where my parents have a little house. So I spent almost all my winters and teenager times skiing and snowboarding. We were a family of 4, we still are. And my dad, he was a medical doctor. My mother used to be a musician, violist and violinist. And I also have a little brother. He's not so little anymore, so he's taller, but he's 4 years younger. I grew up in a house where there was always music. My dad, he plays the violin and the viola. My brother plays the cello. So when I was 3 years old, I got on the nerves of my mother and forced her into buying me this very small violin. I guess my choice of profession and hobbies are a direct reflection of where my parents are from. I always had a lot of interest for natural science. To me, it was always very clear that I wanted to become a doctor. I never wanted to be a dentist, though. When I was 20 years old, I had to make up my mind if I wanted to go into medicine or into music. So I decided to keep my hobby as a hobby and play what I want, not what I need, and go the way of medicine. My original goal was to be a neurosurgeon, so operating on brains. And I finished the 3rd year of medical school, and then I decided to change into dental school. I would have to choose a direction in medicine which would make it possible for me to have my own office. That would have meant that I will need to be an ear doctor, dermatologist, whatever. And to me this was not satisfying because I always wanted to work with my hands. So I had to rethink everything. And then dentistry presented itself as a very beautiful compromise in medicine, surgery, treating patients, and being able to craft all day. I love crafting, and it made it possible for me to be on my own, to be self-employed really early. The first feeling you have when you're finished with dental school is like, dental school was hard and it was tough, and I was very happy I was finished at some point. My first job actually was a small office in the country. I didn't stay there for very long because I pretty much immediately got pregnant. So that was the dream of every employer, is you have a new employee and she gets pregnant after 2 months. So I was offered the choice to either quit or be fired. First I stayed home for 5 months and I was a mom, and that was pretty exhausting, so I was very happy to go back to work. And I started a job in a clinic. It was like a center for dental medicine, and there we had a lot of colleagues working with us. There were about 10 dentists, lots of assistants, dental hygienists, and so I had lots of chances to exchange experience and get advice and talk through cases. And I've worked there for almost 5 years. And that was a very good job to actually develop more skills and awareness of my work. At some point, there was a different boss, and I constantly had confrontations with my boss because I worked in a way that didn't maybe raise this much money. Also, I got restricted in the choice of instruments and materials, and it made me realize that it's probably me having a problem with authority. And when my second daughter was born, I started looking into finding an office to take over. I came here to Schwarzenburg one morning with my 1.5 months old daughter. You know, in the bag I had the daughter. And he was a really old dentist. He was 72 years old. I looked at the office, and to me it was kind of clear that's the office I want to have. Maybe you know the feeling, you step into a room, you know you want it. You feel comfortable. In fact, I was facing several problems that didn't seem solvable sometimes, because I realized there's a lot of farmers and people always keep telling me, oh, I have no money, I don't want to do anything, you just try to save it. I encountered problems, especially with my filling techniques. I always had to fight with contact points, I always had to fight with excess. I never suggested an indirect restoration because I didn't even dare to suggest a little bit more expensive solution for a problem because I was afraid to be rejected. I didn't really consider quitting dentistry, but I was really frustrated because I could not find a system or a way to solve the problems I encountered every day.
Viral pneumonia has hit central China's Wuhan city. Authorities have reported 27 cases.
It's a new type of coronavirus.
Now, the Swiss government has said that it will extend the coronavirus lockdown until April 26th.
Ripe Global are now delivering live hands-on differently. With the Ripe Global Fellowship of Restorative Dentistry, we are removing the barriers and revolutionising dental education as we know it. We can't let COVID stop us.
So to me, there was this group that was very open and very eager to learn, and we had a lot of time. It was in the middle of the COVID situation globally. The group was small, the lectures were live, all the teachers were always there for us, we were always there for each other. So we had this very beautiful situation of a safe atmosphere. And I think that's where you just, you are handed wings. With all the practical courses and with all the lectures and all the support from the students and the teachers, it was just the perfect surrounding.
Stefanie just showed such great courage. So she was one of the first dentists in one of our programs to call us and go, hey, I can't do this. I think I'm going to quit. It's too hard. And then, we'd talk her off the ledge, and then look where she's gone, from single teeth, big fillings, just to rehabs everywhere. I mean, that's what we love to see, is someone change their life, change their career.
Stefanie brought this genuine openness that was so real, and it just made it feel safe. It made it feel like we could bring our mistakes to each other and not have any judgment.
I think to the teachers, I had the role of the complaining, and I'm not going to say the word because it's going to be edited, the bitching student.
For those who haven't seen Stefanie's cosmetic work, that actually is an improvement.
I think the most important point of why it improved my work is actually the confidence I gained, because I started knowing what I was doing, and we had all these practical courses. So your hands, they start knowing what they're doing, and you can look up to the patient and you tell them indirectly, I can do this. Because I know how to do it, because I just had a whole weekend of a hands-on course here in my office, and I just prepped 25 crowns, which is about 3 times more than I did in my whole life. But I can do this, so if you need a crown, it's a crown. I also started to do full mouth rehabilitations, which are very exhausting, and I hope I'm not gonna have to do 20. I'm still happy about the little things, so if I do 1 crown, if I know how to do a smile design, and I think one of the most important things is the communication with the patients. I was unconscious for about 5 minutes. The day of my accident, I wanted to go cut my hair and then swim in the river. I got hit by a car who turned and I was going straight. And I spent 3 days in a hospital. Broke my back, broke several teeth. And for us dentists, it was really, it's really bad because I broke 6 molars and premolars in an unrestored mouth, which is like, oh my God, that's for the dentists, it's very bad. I still have pain in my back, so I'm not yet working fully, but I did not work from September till April. In April, I started doing some restorative cases again.
It's that testament to the commitment that she had in, not just inspiring excellence in herself, but inspiring that in others and wanting others to be better clinicians. That's Stefanie.
So congratulations, Stefanie, on winning the first of what will be an annual award for dedication to excellence, courage, and inspiration, the Stefanie Hirt Award.
For exemplary commitment and sacrifice in the pursuit of excellence. Congratulations, Stefanie.
The way that you helped me inspired me and all of us around.
You are a true example of persistence and commitment.
Your transformation in that 2 years was so remarkable.
You are an inspiration, and we are all so proud of you. Congratulations.
I can just say thank you because I know I was a challenging student.
Stefanie, first of all, congratulations. How are you feeling?
Overwhelmed. I feel totally overwhelmed. I was not expecting to receive this award. I'm really glad I opened up my skill set, and I'm still eager to learn more and more. Ripe Global won't get rid of me. Obviously, I got awarded for being myself. When I do something, I want to do it right, and I want to show myself that, if you do something, you want to do it the best way you can. Well, I do. And I want to go back to work and work as I had before. Because last year, after the fellowship, I wanted to start and doing real work and documenting cases and just, do the repetition, do it again and again and again and become really good. I think the most important goal at the moment is keeping my office together, keeping up the quality of work and having good employees and offering a good service to my patients. I really want to keep up the work here, but also go out and see different things and different dental things and also different musical things. The music has been with me for all my life, and it's just as a big part as dentistry is. So I usually make the joke that I have a good job, so I can take off to play music.